Hello, fellow teacher. My name is Laura Antunes, and I am your virtual content specialist together with the Division of Multilingual Learners.
Today we'll be reviewing Unit 6, Day 11 to Day 15 on genetics and biotechnology. Stay with me and let's begin.
Okay, content objectives for day 11 are: students will review the transcription and translation steps of protein synthesis. Students will review the genetic code and will learn how to use a codon chart to translate codons into amino acids. And the students will investigate 4 new COVID-19 vaccines that use mRNA or DNA. As language objectives, students will explain how these vaccines work, and the students will disprove misinformation around DNA, mRNA vaccines. Main activities of the day are a protein synthesis review chart, a video, independent practice, a jigsaw, research, and Regents-like questions. Suggested scaffolds to support multilingual learners are to use Google Translate to translate protein synthesis review. If you click right here, open this document that you can find in slide number 12, you can see that this is already a Google Docs document. When you click on File, you will be able to make a copy of it. Once you create a copy, your document is now in your Drive, and you can assign the document to the students, or you can show the students how to translate the document. To be able to translate the document, the students just need to go to Tools and choose Translate Document. Once you click on Translate Document, there is a window that is displayed, and the students can choose out of approximately 80 different languages. Let's say, for instance, that a student would like to translate this document in French. He just needs to click French, and voila, a document in French has been created for your student. Google Translate used not to be super great at the beginning, but I have to say that I use it frequently in my class, and over the years it got really good, and their translations are pretty accurate. Okay, let's go back to other supports for multilingual learners. Always benefit from sentence starters if you have writing prompts. You can allow students to complete that independent practice in pairs and to use think, pair, share for students to share their ideas. Also, you can show students how to access the New York Times articles in Spanish. In this lesson today, students are going to have to research on 4 different vaccines, and you are going to have to create a kind of jigsaw activity in which each group of students researches on a different vaccine by using a New York Times article. When you click on this article that you can find on slide number 19, you are able to read this article in Spanish as well by just clicking right where it says leer en español. The article appears fully translated in Spanish. Another way of helping your multilingual students is to show them how to use Microsoft Immersive Reader. I am going to create a second video about this that you are going to be able to watch, and I will explain step by step on how to do this. And finally, you can use a type of protocol like the jigsaw protocol, or you can show them multiple choice elimination strategies. Okay, on day 12, students will engage on a virtual lab. Students, as content objectives, students will observe transcription and translation in action through a virtual lab activity. Students will explore how the sequence of amino acids in a protein can determine how hydrophilic or hydrophobic a protein is. Students will also explore how mutations can affect the structure of a protein. As language objectives, students will use academic vocabulary such as transcription, translation, and mutation to report on their lab's findings. Main activities for this day include video, reading, lab experiment, video on mutation, regions like questions. Some suggested strategies to support your multilingual learners are to use the Jamboard on page number 12 and the diagram on slide number 14 to help your students activate prior knowledge. Your Jamboard will look like this. Remember to make a copy. Something that I really like about Jamboard is that it allows you to add other slides that you can use to support your multilingual learners by offering them vocabulary, sentence starters, etc. Going back to other strategies, you can share cognates and word bank. And of course, you can use that slide number 2 that I was telling you in Jamboard to do that. This lesson today requires for students to do a lab, so it would be a good idea to guide them through the lab or to record a video guiding them through the lab. Make sure to establish discussion time throughout the lesson, and as always, share multiple choice elimination strategies. Content objectives for the 13th are students will explore environmental factors that can influence the expression of various genes, and students will learn about epigenetics. As language objectives, we have students will identify what traits are influenced by genetic factors and what traits are influenced by environmental factors through twin studies. Main activities for today's lesson include video, reading a New York Times article, independent work, regions like questions, and suggested strategies to work with multilingual learners include to modify the video using Edpuzzle. I will create a video for you later today to show you how to do that. Use Google Translate or Microsoft Immersive Reader to read to your students. Also establish discussion time throughout the lesson and share regions questions in other languages. I am 100% sure that you already know this, but if you go to your region's website, you can see that the Living Environment Regions exam is offered in Chinese, Haitian, Creole, Korean, Russian, and Spanish, because on the slides you will find from what year and what question specifically that question is. Maybe something that you can do to support your multilingual learners is to come to the exam and copy those same questions in different languages. Let's move on to day 14. As a content objective, the students will explore the impact of an environmental factor on gene expression by participating in a simulated laboratory investigation. The students will record data in a student worksheet to create a lab report that includes all steps of the scientific method. That will be the language objective of the day. The main activities for the day are an article in Wikipedia that students are going to use just to activate prior knowledge about sand rats, another type of article, a CK12 Plex activity, and regions like questions. These are some of the things that you can do to support multilingual students. Allow students to read the Wikipedia article in different languages. To do so, you just have to click on the article that you can find in slide 12. You can find a section where to change the language of the article. You can find this on the left. Wikipedia accounts for about 21 different languages. Other suggested supports are to use Microsoft Immersive Reading. I'll show you how to do this on a different video today. Guide the students through the lab, use Zoom breakout rooms and Zoom annotation features to complete labs, use Think Per Share, allow students to complete the wrap-up activities in pairs or groups of 3. Lastly, day number 15 on mutations include the following content objective. Students will learn about how mutations occur and some common types of mutations. Students will also learn mutations' effects on an organism's phenotype can vary. As language objectives, we have students comparing DNA sequences and corresponding mRNA transcripts. As main activities for the day include the Jamboard, reading independent time videos, and wrap-up section. Support for multilingual learners. There is another Jamboard on the lesson today, and as I said before, you can use a second sliding Jamboard where you can include sentence starters and vocabulary that multilingual learners can use, can benefit from. Use Edpuzzle to modify the Amoeba Sisters video that's coming up for you. I created a video about that. Use Think Per Share to allow students share their answers during independent work, and pair students strategically to complete the wrap-up section. Make your lesson culturally relevant. Family members of your students or your students themselves may be carriers of sickle cell anemia or the Mediterranean variant, thalassemia. And this is the end of the review of the week. Hopefully, have a great day.